Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Jeremy Adams, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
In brightest day,
in blackest nights,
No evil shall escape my sight.
but those who worship evil's might.
beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, Master of the Core. It is.
I am Will. Hey, everyone.
And we're back to wrap up our two-part Millennium special that we started for our 200th episode. Welcome to 201. Millennium. Feels like it took 1,000 years.
Maybe a millennium. I don't know.
All right, but before we jump into that one, and there is a lot. Will, what did you think of the new issue of Green Lantern you got in red?
There is a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot. Because we have Theros, who has the Dark Star ring now. We have the Star Shroud dude, who's a Revenant. The Dead. He's the whatever they're called.
No, they're
the.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, we have Sorry, there's gonna be some spoilers here. We had Red Lantern Mogo. We have Sinestro. We have, I believe they're calling it a Source Ring.
Something like that, yeah.
Because that's what the Star Shroud put on, or Varen, whatever he put on. And it looks like they distributed the rings that Hal brought. So, yeah, there's a lot going on, a whole lot going on.
Don't worry. There's a certain White Lantern that'll clean that up for you.
Yeah, exactly. And he wakes up, goes Super Saiyan, and promptly disappears into the source bubble thingy majigger. And looks like he's having a hard time of it with the last page that we get in the issue. Kind of a teaser. So, Yup. But yeah, it's good. Things are accelerating because I know we started really slow. It seems like when the series started, it was, and again, that's Jeremy Adams just setting things up. Because, and I think one of the reasons we were, it was good. I'm saying it's good. It's just that we'd been without a Green Lantern series for a year, right? For over a year, I think, at that point, and we still had questions from the previous series that I think we're starting to get answered now. So that's good. So that's really good. But yeah, it was good, really good.
Oh yeah.
Also, I was showing you this, before we started here. I got this beast came in. Ugh. Green Lantern Corps Volume 2, which is a giant slab O comics. It goes from before Blackest Night all the way through New 52, number 20 of the Green Lantern Corps series. So it includes some other titles, that cross over. But yeah, there's a ton, almost a literal ton of comics here.
It says I'm dating myself, but it looks like a hardback phone book.
Yeah. It says Green Lantern Corps 39 through 50, 52 through 56, 59 through 60. Green Lantern Corps 0 through 20. Oh, it has Emerald Warriors 1 through 13. Blackest Night number 8. Green Lantern 66 and 65 through 67. Green Lantern, the New 52, 17, and 20. Green Lantern Corps Annual. Green Lantern 80th Anniversary 100-page Super Spectacular. Untold Tales of the Blackest Night, number 1. A whole bunch of stuff in there.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
Yeah. And you can kill somebody with it because it's heavy. Whack. Yeah, it's a beast. A big, beautiful beast of Green Lantern goodness. So I know we've got Millennium to talk about, but anything else going on, man?
Not that I can think of. Oh, no, like Lantern news? I don't think we have any new Lantern news.
Yeah, I don't think we do either. It's looking like 2026 for the Green Lantern show, I think, at this point. They said whenever Supergirl comes out, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, it's going to come out at the same time, I think.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe then, because, yeah, the only thing I know next year is the Superman movie.
Which does have Green Lantern in it. We're going to get Guy Gardner in it, yeah.
Because I think they said he's going to be their Guy Gardner. He's going to be their, he's going to be in the. Is he going to make a cameo or is he going to make an appearance in the show? So he's going to be the tie-in, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. But yeah.
Who knows?
I see you've changed our background on us.
Oh, yeah. Was that a newer one? Yeah. Or maybe it's just been a while since we've done How.
That's a good point. We do have lots of other things going on.
Yes. All right. Will's like, is there anything else before we talk Millennium?
All right, let's talk Millennium, man.
All right.
So before we jump into it, we're going to be going over Millennium numbers 5 through 8.
Yes, sir.
Green Lantern Corps number 220. Green Lantern Corps number 221.
Yes.
And Superman number 14, right?
Yes, by Mr. John Byrne.
Yep.
All right. So I believe the order was Millennium 5 and 6, Superman.
Yep.
Millennium 7, Green Lantern Corps, and then Millennium 8.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
All right. So, yes, kids, pick up where we left off. Millennium number 5 from February 1988. This one's titled In.
So, what were there was above, below, in, out.
Was it?
I don't remember what they were.
Number 4 was fourth.
Back and forth, right?
I believe so. Yes, back, forth, yes. Are these the eighth? Or are these the rules of the universe as they're explaining the universe?
I don't know. They're. I'll be honest. That was a little too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. too whatever.
I know. I think. I don't know if Englehart was partaking of something. I don't know. I was like, yeah, I can't follow this.
Yeah. Maybe we need to partake to understand those 10 teachings. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So, like I said, yeah, writer Steve Englehart, penciler Joe Staton, inker Ian Gibson, colors Carl Gafford, letterer Bob Lappin, and editor Andrew Helfer. As Harupa Hando Hu and Nadia Saphir begin their explanation of the universe to the Chosen, Superman returns to the Green Lantern Citadel from his adventure in Smallville. Batman has just recounted how he and Jim Corrigan rescued Manhunter prisoners from their Louisiana temple, which was then destroyed. And Captain Atom reveals his and Firestorm's part in the proceedings. Batman does not tell the other heroes of the sacrifice of Karen Grace, while Captain Atom takes care not to mention his encounter with the Suicide Squad, whose existence is a government secret, and Corrigan keeps to himself his knowledge of the Spectre's involvement. So, yeah, so everyone's lying through their teeth. Looker suddenly receives a telepathic alert from the people of the hidden land of Abyssia, who gave her powers, and the outsiders, except Batman, depart to deal with this new threat. Then Wonder Woman abruptly disappears. Before the others can search for her, Aquaman and Aqualad arrive with the Manhunter ship they have salvaged. Formerly jubilant in having destroyed what seemed to be the major Manhunter stronghold on Earth, the superheroes are now taken back at the prospect of the endless Manhunter reinforcements which could arrive from space. Meanwhile, on the planet Orinda, Harbinger is rescued by Drick, the alien Green Lantern who, though slain in battle, still lives after a fashion, animated by the energy of his power ring. With the Guardian and the Zamaron busy instructing the Chosen, the heroes must form their own battle plans. While the others remain to guard the Earth, a group of 10 is assembled to attack their foe's homeworld, Orinda. Superman, John Jones, Hawkman, Hawkwoman, Captain Atom, Firestorm, Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan, Arisia, and Kat Matui Stewart, and Dr. Fate, whose magic instantaneously transports them all to the Procyon star system. This Hal Jordan never changes. Yeah, I'll take the women. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
All right, Will, thoughts? Yeah, that's a thought.
This well, okay.
It's
Get
it's
that
so
this
it's
is
it's so weird for Guardian not to be on the plans saying no, don't move until I tell you to, and it's just like
yeah. It's interesting the characterizations that we get of Batman and then later of Superman, which are
yeah, that was
so
weird. That was weird when Superman returns and Batman's telling him what happened, and like Batman has the thought, it's like, oh, I'm glad he wasn't involved. I'm like, where did that come from?
yeah. And then there's just so different than the way we see them now. I mean, if you read the World's Finest book, by Mark Waid, which is great, and Dan Moore, I forget who the artist is now. That Dan has moved
Yeah.
over to.
But I swear, Batman and even his douchiest isn't like, oh, I'm glad he wasn't there. It's more like,
Yeah.
even when Batman's in his I don't trust Superman mode, I swear he still does. He wouldn't have had the thought, oh, glad he wasn't there. Like there's ego involved.
Batman,
Yeah,
my favorite character.
yeah. Englehart didn't. I don't, and this is, to be fair, I may be misremembering. So take this with a bag full of salt. That I don't remember Batman being characterized like that back then. Not that I was necessarily reading a lot of Batman back then, but it just didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Now Superman, I mean, John Byrne has done so many comics over the years. It's hard not to find something of his that you're gonna like something. Yeah, I love his She-Hulk. His Fantastic Four was awesome. Believe it or not a tremendous fan of his later Avengers work when he was just writing it. And West Coast Avengers.
Let's rip the Vision apart.
But still, I mean, he's had, decades spanning career, and I'd forgot Superman was like this. The reboot, the Superman reboot.
Oh yeah.
Batman not. I mean, this is two reboots that Batman has really kind of avoided, isn't it? Crisis didn't affect him.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's kind of weird because after Crisis, there's like, I don't know, at least 3 or 4 months where like, yeah, nobody knew what was going on, the hell was going on with Batman, and then that's when Frank Miller came in with Batman.
Year one.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I am contractually obligated to play when I say Frank Miller.
Your mother's a whore.
His writing style.
Your mother's a whore.
I mean, and honestly, I know Dark Knight Returns gets a lot of the attention, but for my money,
yeah, year one's better. Yeah,
I think year one is probably the best Batman. I mean, Court of Owls is good. Don't get me wrong, but but year one, I mean, the art is just phenomenal
Oh, yeah.
by David Mazzucchelli.
Oh, yeah.
And, and this was Frank Miller kind of at the height of his powers, just after Dark Knight Returns. So, yeah, I mean, but that's Batman, right? That Batman, this characterization of Batman that we get throughout Millennium just feels off.
Yeah. And again, there are times where he doesn't trust anybody and he's going to do everything himself. But again, he still feels off.
Yeah. But now, Superman,
Also,
honestly,
yeah, I won't.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say it just feels weird because I mean, the little bit of the Superman we get, and then it seems like we're getting a lot of Batman. Like, I don't know if that's like an editorial thing, but I'm like, isn't this supposed to be like a Green Lantern event?
Yeah, and really the Green Lantern stuff is kind of the only characters that don't feel kind of off,
Well, yeah, because the regular writer and penciler
Who's
are
writing
on.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, Dr. Fate, I wasn't reading Dr. Fate at the time, but that felt weird. And then uh, Booster Gold, I mean, the JLI stuff. I mean, and I understand Englehart's trying to take the wackiness of the JLI, right?
Mhm.
The seriousness of his Green Lantern book, plus this cosmic transcendence thing, and kind of meld them all together. And I don't know that it always works,
Yeah, and I wonder if like he's not reading a lot of the book, so is he working off cliff notes for each character?
Yeah. And I don't even, and that's Infinity Inc. I found that just Miss Bones was just annoying. But it's
But you're trying to fit too many square pegs in round holes because again, it's a cosmic event. But again, I know it was only like a tie-in thing, but it's like Suicide Squad doesn't shouldn't be playing here.
yeah.
Hell, Batman
Well, I
should be
mean,
playing.
yeah, I get it. So, tell you what, let's can we take a side kind of road here and just go off on a tangent? Not
Oh, we
to,
did.
not that universe, not tangents. But
Go ahead.
I mean, Crisis is really the first big crossover, right? I mean, there was Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, I think a little bit earlier. I don't remember the exact timing of them.
Yeah. Secret Wars was 84, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and Crisis started in 85.
Yeah.
So, we're at the
It's the
very
first big
beginning
thing.
of these. Yeah, we're at the very beginning of these giant crossovers, right? And I mean, Secret Wars was pretty freaking awesome. We got the black suit Spider-Man out of it and all that stuff. And Crisis was just the scale of it was, it was just massive.
Oh
right?
yeah, they say every character who was in DC at that point made at least a cameo in that thing.
Yeah. So we are essentially 3 years into this new thing called the crossover, right? From DC. And they choose to have a Green Lantern crossover. It's essentially a Green Lantern crossover, right? But it just feels so small. It really feels small to me.
Yeah.
There's these cosmic consequences, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole nother planet, but we don't really see much. There's not really travel to that planet. There's not really travel from it. It's just we see it. There's this big manhunter, blah, 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 right? Now, compare, and for all intents and purposes, this was a fairly successful crossover from what I understand, right?
Yeah, I don't know how it did, but
I mean, they spun a book out of it. We got New Guardians.
Yeah, for a lot of year. Yeah.
For a year, yeah. So compare and contrast Millennium with, I think, the absolute pinnacle of the crossover, which is Blackest Night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, both are Green Lantern crossovers, but I mean, just look at how differently
Oh yeah.
Blackest Night was done versus Millennium, because Millennium was intruding in titles all over the place.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, this thing has so many freaking crossovers as a part of it. It's insane. Because I think it hit every DC book at least once, right?
I think so. Yeah, because everyone you got a Manhunter, which again, it's just like you said, it seems small, considering the fact that it intruded on everybody. But yeah, it still
Mhm.
seems small. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but then we look at Blackest Night, and there was, to me, Millennium ceased to come out of nowhere. Now, I'm willing to bet, I'm going to give Englehart benefit of the doubt here, that he was building probably to this in the Green Lantern core book at the time. I haven't read those issues though. That's one of the things, I need to go back and do that. So, but Blackest Night was building for
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
it was really, kind of all roads were leading to it after Sinestro Corps War.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm trying to remember. Was it Green Lantern 200 maybe where when the Guardians left, they say
Yeah.
something like the Earth's going to be the next big ground for human
Yeah.
evolution? Or
So
yeah.
it was something that he was building to. It just seems, again, it seems so small.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because we didn't read all of them, but I don't know that would have helped. We read all of the main book, and the main book just felt really, really small, and maybe too focused, on just that stuff.
And it's almost like, hey, this side quest was going on over here. Read this book. Hey, go read
Yeah.
this.
Hey, this is a 4-way crossover in the swamps of Louisiana. Go read that.
Well, we're not going to show you 1 second of it in the Millennium actual book. No.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, kudos to Englehart. This was 12 years before the actual, year 2000 Millennium stuff, right? So that's cool. He's thinking ahead, but there's some, I don't know. I mean, you look at the Cosmic Madonna stuff in the Avengers, right? Mantis, is going to give birth to the new plant-human hybrid thing, which I feel like we've got a little bit played out here with Jason Woodrow as, Pharaonic Man, and I really, I mean, I found the characters interesting. It's just that something really annoyed me. Okay. I really like Blue Beetle. Don't get me wrong. I love Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
But you're telling me Green Lanterns need to ride in your super sub to get to the center of the earth where the Manhunters are? Oh, it's in the earth? Here, bubble up. Let's go. Boom, we're done. I think that's what really bothers me the most. And this may have something, maybe the Green Lanterns are depowered because of the events of 200 or whatever. I don't know for sure. But they seem to operate, the rings seem to operate as they classically have operated. Yellow, they can't affect yellow, blah, blah, blah. But they just seem so weak,
Yeah. Yeah. They're not thinking outside the box. It's constructs.
And they, oh hey, we're out in space, bubble, hyperspace, go, done. I mean, there's just the whole reason for the burn issue of Superman is because they were trying to be teleported, and Dr. Fate was a doofus. I mean,
Well, I guess it's a new Dr. Fate. Yeah. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. And I am veering back and forth through the different issues here, so I'm sorry about that.
All right.
I mean, I need to acquaint myself better with this era of Green Lantern
Mm-hmm.
and read, post-crisis Green Lantern all the way up to the end. because we've pretty much read everything from that point on. You know, Emerald Dawn and Green Lantern Volume 3, you know,
Mhm.
through where we are now. But I don't know. I don't know if it's the, you know, the distance of 3 decades, you know, 3+ decades at this point, almost 4 decades, or something else. But I just find it difficult to believe that Green Lantern was this title that spun out, you know, Millennium, the Green Lantern Corps book during this time was like one of DC's bestsellers.
Mhm.
And I can't for the life of me see why. And I
I
don't mean
know.
that.
I know. I think the whole thing with Millennium is like I think they had a good idea, but
Mhm.
I'm thinking it got bogged down with like, oh hey, it has to touch every DC book. You have to have all these cameos. You have to write storylines to make sense for everybody. You know.
Well, and I think that's a good point because, you know, when we talked to Mark Wade not too long ago, he said the great thing about crossovers today is that you're not forced to
Yeah.
play, right? It's voluntary.
Mhm.
Whereas in the past it was thou shalt include a manhunter. That person's dog is a manhunter. Get it? No, sorry. A dog could never be a manhunter because dogs are awesome.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's not to say I didn't enjoy it, right? I mean, I still love that panel from issue number 2. Meanwhile, in fascist England, I'm like, wow, that goes hard, and I'm here for it. But I don't know, Englehart. I think what it is, and this is just my interpretation of it. Feel free to tell me I'm an idiot, but for only this reason, not for all the other reasons that exist why I'm an idiot. Okay, Englehart. Englehart really kind of came to prominence in the 70s. So this this doesn't feel like a modern book to me. It
Mm.
feels like this weird amalgamation of a late 80s book and a 70s book because that's the way he wrote, I think. Um, and I mean, if you look at his,
Yeah, I could see this almost fitting in better with pre-crisis.
yeah, I mean, if you look at, I mean, his West Coast Avengers, right? I mean, because he was doing that before Byrne took over.
Mhm.
That was in like 86, I think. Trying to remember the timeline here, but
I think so. It was around that. Yeah.
that that still feels more modern than this. And
Mhm.
I'm not sure if that's because DC and the weird state the DC universe was in, you know, immediately post-crisis, or if Marvel was just Marvel of that time versus DC. That Marvel just feels more modern to me of that time, and that could be completely, you know, my personal, you know, aesthetics at this point. But because I mean, you look at the Superman book by
Mhm.
Byrne, that reads like a modern book.
Oh yeah.
That you could give that to someone now, and they wouldn't know that it was done, you know, almost 40 years ago.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, but Millennium, I think they would know.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
it just feels it doesn't feel as modern, you know,
No.
as
And now that you mention it, I wonder if like Englehart maybe could have used some help on this. Like maybe Byrne should have helped them write this thing. You know, maybe have a few writers on this thing.
well, I mean, Byrne had just done Legends the year
Yeah.
before, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just, you know, part of it I think too is, and you brought this up, which I think is, and I absolutely agree with you, is you get all of these disparate parts of the DC universe that really have no business coexisting, right?
Mhm.
You know, you've got all of these street level heroes. You've got Superman, you've got the Spectre, you've got New Gods, you've got Guardians, you've got all of these things that don't really go together.
I
You know?
was looking at the list, all the crossover issues. They wrangled damn Legion of Superheroes into this thing.
Oh, okay. Nice. I did not know that.
Legion of Superheroes, Volume 3, number 42, where basically they encounter, I guess, a Manhunter who's basically been hiding on Earth for 1,000 years.
Wow. Nice. Very nice. Okay, I'm gonna have to go look that issue up. I've got two things that I need to do now. One is go find that issue. The other is subject myself to the entire New Guardian series because I'm mildly curious as to see where that goes.
Yeah,
Because
I read that. Yeah,
they give Tom a power that he says he'll know, use it when he wants to, right?
mm-hmm.
I'm curious if he actually uses it in the 12-issue series, or if that's just freaking Jeremy Adams going, he never used it, he's using it now. Because that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Because that would be totally awesome.
yeah, because he didn't use it in oh god, when more was that the Trinity crossover where with the New Guardians and what is that, Oblivion or whatever? Or...
Oh yeah, that was the third law.
The Third Law, yeah. I'm sorry, yeah, the Third Law. Because he didn't do anything. He didn't use any power there, right?
I don't think so.
Or did he use it to resurrect Oa?
I don't know. The last will and testament of Hal Jordan. But it's, and I know I've been heaping some criticism on it. It's not bad. It just feels more of its time than something like the Superman issue by Byrne. I mean, and even his Green Lantern, I don't know. It's just, I think part of it is his Englehart and Statton's interpretation of Green Lantern just doesn't sit well with me. I don't know. It feels off probably because what we got post Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
That again, you and I have talked about the militarization aspect, and we're not fond of that. But
it's like 7 Green Lanterns on Earth plus every other superhero on Earth. I mean, they should be crime free.
It should be a utopia. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And now there are some really cool things, and I'm like, really, I'm going to have to read about that. A mad galaxy. Okay, cool. What does that look like? I don't even.
Oh yeah.
How does that work? Because it was locked up on Oa. How do you anyway? Galaxies are in a marble. Men in Black. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad we read Millennium.
Yeah.
I really am. It was an interesting time machine, kind of of DC in a really weird place, because it was. When did the Triangle era start? Was it 90?
It was in the 90s. No, it might have been. Was it 91? I'm trying to remember.
Okay.
Because we just started 1990 on Electric Mullet, and the triangles aren't there yet. So I'm thinking 91.
Okay.
Because I don't think it was 92. Because I don't think it was the year he died. I think it might have been the year before, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. So this is that weird place before DC becomes the DC that we still know today, right? I mean, I think Animal Man by Grant Morrison was running around the same time as
wasn't it around this
Millennium?
time? Yeah.
Did he get him? He probably got a Manhunter too. Whatever.
I don't know. I don't see him on the list. It's weird because I think some people might have slipped through the cracks because the only Titans involvement I see is like 2 issues of Teen Titans Spotlight.
Oh, okay.
and they're not written by Marv or George. So I'm like, I know that book was very popular. So were they able to be like, hey, no, you know what, we're top of the
We're
chart.
gonna do our own thing. You are over here. Yeah.
So, I mean, they were competing with the X-Men at that point. So
Oh yeah. I mean, and that's this is X-Men around this same time would have been pre 200. So what, maybe Paul Smith on the art with Chris Claremont writing, and no spin-off titles, right? Just the New Mutants may have come. I think New Mutants may have been the
yeah, there might have been a
original
New
one.
Mutants, and you might have had like a Wolverine miniseries or something. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but not the
but the
X
vast cornucopia we have
universe.
today.
Exactly. But it's interesting that for such a sweeping crossover, right? We really don't see any results from it playing out through the DC universe. I mean, we saw, the new Guardian series, but then
those characters don't last long.
Yeah. I mean, they all pretty much get killed until finally, I think the Pharaonic Man is the last one to die during that third Law crossover, because he ends up saving Tom and his family, doesn't he? I'm trying to remember. It's been a long time since we read that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But yeah, I mean, it kind of happened, and then it doesn't matter that it happened, right? I mean, although, again, and I have to give kudos to Jeremy Adams for bringing or at least rekindling my interest in it, to go back and read it and see, well, what happened in this thing anyway, because he brought Tom into, Tom was already in the book, but having Tom be the one to lead the way to this new, Lantern in the current book, I think is really kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
So congrats, Mr. Adams. Bravo.
And again, I know this is a big decision, but then I mean, okay, kids, forget doing all the issues. We're just going to talk around this whole thing. It's just the whole thing. It's like every issue, Tom's changing his mind. It's like, oh yeah, I'll do it. Oh no, my wife don't want me to do it. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, no, I'm going to.
Yep, I'm going to do it. No,
my kids don't want me to do it.
Yeah, and that actually brings up a good point, because Tom, before they were transformed, they saw things more clearly. They were more intelligent. They had this insight. Tom still has that, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Never been mentioned before or since. And he was making space. This is back when we had space shuttles. Sorry, I'm dating myself. He made space shuttle engines. The fact that is he working at Ferris Aircraft now in this book? I can't remember.
I can't remember. I mean, he was for the longest time. I can't remember if he still was or not.
Is he a partner now, or
he was? I think at some point. Again, I don't know if he is now, but yeah, at one point I think he was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, I mean, that's just after this series, I mean, he kind of pops in every so often, but it's mostly just, oh hey, it's Hal's old buddy, Tom.
Yeah. Oh, and they used the nickname in this one, which in the final, I'm like, no, just no.
I know. 1988. I know.
1988. Yeah. Now, again, we've heaped criticism on Millennium. One thing it did do well, and this was 1988, so I think it's a big deal, is, they had the gay character from, was he from Mexico or was he from Spain?
Wasn't he? I swear it seemed like he was from Mexico, because I thought they went.
Yeah,
they
went south. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, showing him as a kind of a well-rounded human, and that was just happened to be gay, which is 1988. That's they didn't come right out and say it. They implied for all that they could, you know.
Again, I mean, these comes up, but it's like, yeah, anytime there's never two gay men; they're always roommates in this area. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you have to give the creative team, kudos for that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That was amazing that they did that. And the other thing, so I'm going to go on a positivity tear here. The other good thing that Millennium did was representation.
Mm-hmm.
We got characters from around the world, different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
We got female characters. We got male characters. We got different cultures, different regions of the world. I thought it was really great. I mean, and ultimately the American was Tom,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who's Alaskan, Eskimo. Not well, actually, I think Eskimo is
Inuit.
considered Inuit. I think we're supposed. Yeah, I don't think that's a good word. So Inuit. Yeah. So it it went. It really did that well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Now again, I was kind of hoping so Englehart did a couple of things. He had the Floronic Man. I'm like, okay, is he going to turn out to be good? Well, yeah, and he does turn out to be good. But then we get a guy from South Africa. Okay, South African dude, is he going to turn out to be good? No, he's just an ass. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's
So,
a racist. I mean,
yeah,
what issue was it? Was it 6 or 7? He gets in John's face. It's just like,
yeah, dude. So, showing that diversity is awesome. And I
you know what?
I still
That's a way Jeremy Adams could go if he wants to like restart the new Guardians concept. Just be like, yeah, the Guardians had the right idea. They just picked some of the wrong candidates. Like that South African guy. He
yeah. I don't know what happens. I guess I'll have to read New Guardians to find out, right?
yeah.
But I still am not quite sure why. There's this metaphysical reason, I'm sure, but why did this cost a Guardian and a Zamaran their lives?
So I guess they used up all their energy maybe to start evolution. And what was it? Only 6 or 7 of them. But I'm like, then why wouldn't you bring like 6 or 7, at least 6 or 7 of each of them? So each one only had to evolve one.
Yeah, I mean, and again, Hal actually says it during the Burn issue. Guardians are some of the most powerful beings in the freaking universe. It doesn't take all the power a Guardian has to evolve a backwards ape from the planet Earth, okay? You know? So I was a little bit, and you had a Zamaran too, and just it didn't that didn't work for me either. But
leave it to John Byrne to be like, this is how Guardians and Zamarons get freaky.
yeah. Yep.
It's cosmic, see?
Cosmic. And what did you make of the Sinestro interaction in the Green Lantern Corps book for supposedly making a pass at the gay man from
that is so. I mean, that the whole thing with Sinestro is just weird because at one point, or weren't they like, oh, Rissia kind of agreed with Sinestro at one point. Does she have feelings for him? And it's just like, what?
What? Yeah, and Joe Staton don't get me wrong, he's a great artist, but at times he really moves too far into caricature because Sinestro doesn't look. I mean, he just didn't look.
Yeah,
right.
There was one panel where I was even looking at Arissia's face, and I was just like, he's really trying to go like the whole like very skinny model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Millennium's a mixed bag, at least from my take on it.
Yeah.
I think it tried really hard, but and this could be completely wrong, but I really do think the kind of indeterminate state
Mm-hmm.
of the DC universe,
Yeah.
immediately post-Crisis, I don't think it did it any favors
No.
because it was, wait, the Hawks have always been spies? What?
Yeah. It's on that.
Wait, there's no Superboy? What? So yeah, I don't want to get into that, but what do you think, man? Any
I mean, I agree with everything you said. Again, I'm just shuffling through everything in my head. But that last issue, issue 8, that was so. It's like, hey, we're gonna sell this new series because again, the whole thing was just hey, we're gonna evolve these new characters. Here's here's the one new character. Here's another new it's just
and here's another one.
a half
Yeah.
splash page. Yeah, here you go.
And how would they have been able to evolve 3 more, right?
Yeah, luckily everyone was either dead or they were turning them down. Yeah.
Yeah. So uh, I don't get it. And and the thing is, Harbinger interests me
Mhm.
because of her role in
Crisis.
Crisis, and then of course the history of the DC universe, right? Which she is kind of the teller of that story, I guess.
Mhm.
But she just seems weird too. I mean, and the whole Manhunters, we're gonna release you and then track you down and then release you and track you. What?
And it's so weird too because it's like, are they robots? At one point, I swear a woman was putting a Manhunter mask on. I'm like,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
again, it's so weird. Some of them are robots, some of them are humans. Because again, like Wally West's father,
yeah.
they just got to him and was like, oh hey, because I think even in the Flashbook, I don't know if it's after this, Wally's just like, why would you work with the Manhunters? And he's basically like, "Yeah, they offered me power, and
They paid well. I mean,
you're gonna basically let me run Earth, I guess. Yes, yeah.
yeah. So oddly enough, I think more of the actual, not a lot happens in the Millennium series proper,
Mm.
right? There's the whole teaching thing, which which we were just talking about, but a lot of the exciting actiony stuff we hear about
Happens in other books in the
because it happens in other books. So Millennium is kind of boring, you know?
yeah, it's kind of like most of it is like them talking for eight issues. Hey, we're gonna evolve these people. We're gonna evolve these 10 people. We're gonna evolve these 9 people.
Nine.
We're gonna evolve these 8 people.
We're going to do all these 7. Oh, now it's 8 again. Yay, Harbinger. If she can split into 20. I just
Tom's in.
20.
Oh, he's out again. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm not sad that we've read it or gone over it because it's interesting. And I think it tries really hard. And, but I am
Mhm.
genuinely astonished that the Green Lantern title at this time was a great seller for DC. It just doesn't feel like Green Lantern. And that may just be, almost 20 years on from Rebirth that, we had it hasn't been like this in,
Mhm.
30 years, So
Well, and again, some of these I don't know, these new Guardians. I don't know how far they were going to evolve. Like Ram, like one becomes random access memory.
Yeah, exactly.
That's obsolete.
How about another one becomes SSD or HD or yeah. I really think all of these characters are now dead except Tom.
I think. I wonder if I can look this up. But I just remember, was it the next crossover, which was Invasion?
Uh-huh.
Like when the Dominator set off their gene bomb and stuff. Like the new Guardians are affected just like every other superhero. I'm just like, okay, really,
Okay.
really doesn't affect Green Lantern rings, but it affects. It's supposed to affect the metagene, but I'm just like, okay, so new
They
Guardians
don't.
have the metagene. Okay, so are we saying everyone
Uh,
they picked had a metagene, including Tom?
I don't know. So it was Gloss
Mm-hmm.
and uh, did Betty get a name or she's just the Earth?
What was she? Was she like a floating cloud or something, or
I don't know.
it was
Merged
something
with the Earth
It was something
somehow?
tied to Extrano, but I'm just like, wait, I don't get how she's tied into him, and she really doesn't have a body. They just kind of showed her as like a float, almost looked like she was wearing a wreath around her head or something.
Uh-huh.
Floating head with a wreath. I don't know.
Well, it looks like, Englehart. Oh, it looks like Englehart only did the first 2 issues. And I think Carrie Bates took over after that. Joe Staten was still doing the art
Oh, okay. I didn't see
until number 10 when Pat Broderick took over for the art on the last 3 issues.
Oh, maybe that's
So,
new writer. Yeah, maybe they're just.
yeah, I mean, because this really seemed this is definitely an Englehart concept and a book. So the fact that he left
Yeah.
so early is probably pretty telling on why it. There's no synopsis on this. So let's see. Gloss, Ram, Extrano. What was the she could do the electromagnetic stuff. She had like green flaming hair.
Oh, was
What
it
was her name?
Gloss or was it who was the other one?
No, Gloss was the first one, I think. She
Was it
was
Jet?
Jet. That's what it was. So, all right, we're gonna find this out. Jet DC.
Well, I was looking them up. Ram basically he was shown in it. It said his picture was shown in a bunch of a group of pictures of people who were killed in Roulette's Casino. It was like from a JSA issue or something.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if they all died at once, but they may have become cannon fodder for the DC universe.
Oh, hey, here's something interesting.
Hmm.
After wow, this is after contracting HIV while battling the hemogoblin, not hemoglobin, hemogoblin, Jet sacrifices herself to repel an alien invasion.
Oh, geez.
But in 1 year later, Jet is resurrected, becomes the leader of the Global Guardians, and publicly renounces the actions of the Green Lanterns. I don't remember her from. Okay, cool. So I guess she's died, but is better now. Okay. Let's try Gloss.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think they basically became cannon fodder.
Yeah. Oh. In 1 year later, Gloss joins the Global Guardians before being killed by Prometheus. Following the reboot of the DC Universe with the New 52, Gloss is resurrected and joins the Great 20, China's team of superheroes. Okay.
Oh, did we even mention like the weirdest part from like the Wonder Woman angle where like one of the Manhunters killed Pan like a millennium ago and took his place for 1,000 years?
Yeah, that's how. I mean, we're talking science, and now then we're talking magic. I mean, Yeah,
That's
that's
little.
just
I mean, you're stretching it in where they're like, oh yeah, they has basically assimilated every child in Smallville for a generation. That's one thing, but yeah, you're killing like a mythical being and taking his place for 1,000 years. Okay, none of the gods noticed that for 1,000 years.
exactly. Let's see. Called entropy in it.
But again, they were just looking for any excuse to let
Yeah, I see. Yeah, Ram.
became a Manhunter in some.
Yeah, Ram was killed in Roulette's casino. Yeah, wow. So
So just like regular. So basically, that's like saying, oh yeah, we say in the Marvel universe we had an evolved godlike being and they were killed by Arcade. Okay.
yeah, exactly. To be the next step in humanity, it didn't work out too well for for us or them very well. I
Yeah.
don't think. Oh well. Well, but I'm glad we read it.
Yes. Yes.
It was interesting. It was interesting.
Yes, it was.
Mhm.
All right, all right. So anything else, William?
Yeah, one thing.
Hmm.
Happy number 201, dude.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Start the road to 300.
We're on the road to 300 now.
And
Maybe, just maybe, we'll be finished with the Rise of the Third Army by 300.
Oh!
Dang, that was mean. I shouldn't have said that.
I told you when we're going to be done. We're going to be done with it soon.
I know.
Again, it's like COVID. New 52 makes time seem messes with your frame. And again, yes, kids, I did compare the New 52 with COVID. So, all right,
Wow.
but I think we're gonna have more fun next week, Will, because you know what that is.
We get to see some Larfleeze action.
That's right, kids. The last episode of the year. Yes, we're gonna talk some Green Lantern Larfleeze Christmas special. Oh, so get your cookies out. Not for Santa. They're all mine.
Mine.
And then again, I think we get one. After that, we get maybe one more week of Rise of the Third Army, Will, and it's only 2 issues: Green Lantern Corps 16 and Green Lantern Corps Annual 1. And then we get the 4 weeks of Wrath of the First Lantern. So
Nice. Finally, we've been in this Rise of the Third. I mean, officially or unofficially, we've been in the Rise of the Third Army since the New 52, right? I mean, so we're almost 80 issues in at this point, right? With 4 different titles.
pretty much.
It just seems like it's taking forever.
Yes. And Wrath of the First Lantern, it'll be easy to follow, kids. Part 1 will be issue 17 of everyone's book. Part 2 will be issue 18 of everyone's book.
There we go.
Yes. So yes. And then the last part will be issue 20 of everyone's book. So.
And then we get into well, certainly for me, I mean, we're already in stuff I haven't read, but post Jeff Johns, we're in undiscovered country. I have no idea what to expect except that really not great crossover with the New Gods.
Yeah, God's Head. Yeah. I don't remember a lot of it, and there's stuff on our list I haven't really read, like the Larfleeze series. I didn't really read that,
Yeah,
so
I certainly haven't read that. And there was what was it? The annual kicked off another series.
Oh, Threshold, which
Threshold. Yeah.
we'll do 2 episodes on next year. Yes,
Okay.
because that was only 8 issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we'll get to we already got Simon Baz. We'll get to Jessica's first appearance next year too in Justice League.
Oh yeah. And she actually showed up in, her and Simon both showed up in, the latest issue of Green Lantern, which I thought was really good.
Oh yeah.
And a certain Helvamite. Is that what is Kilowog?
Oh yeah. Was it? No, isn't a bowl?
He was in Bolavax Prime.
Something Bolavax or
Something like that.
Bolavax. Yeah.
I don't remember. I'll have to look it up later.
We're old men. Leave us alone.
Yeah. Get off my lawn.
All right. So yes, kids. So send us your thoughts on Millennium, on Larfleet's Christmas special, and again our ongoing New 52 coverage. The email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes Lunatics, episodes, social media, merchandise. Get your brand new Capes Lunatics merch, the classic Capes Lunatics merch. And again, you can, deadlier than the whole Manhunter army, Lilith Hellfire demands that you rain random money on us through the Cash App link.
Make it rain.
Again, the month of December is her birthday. It's a holiday season. Yes, rain random money on. And of course, the Patreon, where again, Lilith and I give you exclusive, uncensored content every month. And if you are a Patreon subscriber, you can suggest topics for us to talk about, like Justin has been doing. So, yes, subscribe to the Patreon. Tell us what to do. So, you can find that at patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. And you can find everything at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
All right. Oh, you know what? We would have to find some excuse to do some Alan Scott at some point, because like Justin was like, he's like, I want to come on and like talk some Alan Scott. I'm like, I don't know if we have anything. I don't know if we have anything New 52 wise. Although there was a New 52 series, or maybe two of them. There's like
Was it like the Earth 2 or something?
2, yeah. So maybe we might have to squeeze one of those for an episode, just so we can get Justin in here.
Oh, I mean, and we've got Alan Scott showing up in the new series right now too, in the latest
Yeah,
issue,
yeah.
which is cool. Although I'm a little curious about what he did to the Unseeing in the latest issue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
I hope maybe getting some answers here soon. Hopefully. All right, Mr. Will Allred, master of the core, master of the quantum zone, master of podcasting, and several successful Kickstarter campaigns. Will, tell them all about yourself.
You can find me at Walred at Gmail. So that's WALLRED at Gmail, at Blue Sky, at Facebook, even over on Twitter. Probably some other places that I forgot about. And if you'd like to read some of the books that I write, Crossover Division, we're going to be launching number 6 soon. We've done 5 issues on Kickstarter plus a hardcover, so our 6th issue is coming soon. Hopefully, we probably will wait till next year, I think, at this point, but we'll see how things turn out. And you can do that at crossoverdivision.com. If you want to check out Diary of Night, you can do that at diaryofnight.com. And obviously, you've got great taste because you're here hanging out with Phil and I talking about Green Lantern, which means you probably love Marvel's Quasar almost as much as we do. So if you'd like to find out more about Quasar, you can do that at the Quantum Zone, quantumzone.org.
Seems like I'm getting a package every other day. I am God. I hope it's going somewhere nice. They aren't even attempting to enter our orifices.
Greatest line of dialogue ever uttered and written by Tom DeFalco.
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
I do.
All right, kids. Thank you for joining us again. We wrap up the year next week in the Larfleet's Christmas special. And we start January one more time, Will, with Rise of the Third Army.
Yeah.
Wrath of the First Lantern.
It's not just me. It just seems like it's going on and on and on.
I know. They didn't say it was a quick rise.
That's true. It's like yeast.
Exactly. You don't know how to bake. All right, kids, come back next time. And remember, watch that evolution. It's a big first step.